Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, I was going through the internet yesterday and I discovered an old British TV series which is all about cooking. Now, I'm not sure about you, but when I think about cooking and Britain are not two words that I usually put together. So, English cookery TV show doesn't really fall off the tongue easily, does it? Wow. Anyway, this particular one is called Farmhouse Kitchen. And when I was a little boy, it was very popular. It's basically a little old lady, sometimes two little old ladies, showing you how to cook. And if you're interested in that, you can find it on YouTube if you simply put in Farmhouse Kitchen. Anyway, on this particular YouTube episode I was watching yesterday, they were making Christmas dinner, and I thought to myself, oh, I can't resist this. How Britain used to make Christmas dinner in the 1970s. It's bad enough now, but in the 70s, I would be really surprised if it was anything loving. So there she was with, I think it must have been a grapefruit. I wasn't paying so much attention to it. I was trying to do something else at the same time. But this little old lady was telling us what the starter was going to be like for Christmas time. And she had what I think was a grapefruit or a lemon. And she basically cut it in half, put a cherry on top of it, or half of a cherry, covered it in sugar, sat it on the plate, and called it the starter dish. And I'm thinking, oh no, for Christmas dinner, a grapefruit with a cherry on the top. Ooh, no, really, no. I think I'll stay with my idea of a prawn cocktail. Anyway, this TV show was made in the 1970s. It was very popular at the time. It was a little bit strange because it was not really focused on the food, but focused on the practicality of the food, what you can make in a very short time, how it's going to affect the people that you serve it to, who you serve it to. It wasn't really focused itself on the food. It was more about doing the right thing in the British way. It's very funny. And of course, the woman is very, very old, unlike TV shows now where people tend to be 20, 21 at the oldest. This woman was way past her own sell-by date. So next time you're on YouTube, have a look for Farmhouse Kitchen. It's a rather bizarre, strange TV show, a relic from the British past. Don't get too excited looking for ideas about Christmas dinner. There's nothing that she makes is going to be exciting for you. But yeah, it's definitely worth a look. Just a glimpse into the British mind of the past. And it's not fun either. Anyway, let me tell you about my Christmas menu. So I'm going to begin this year with prawn cocktail. Did you know that prawns around the world aren't eaten by everyone? There's whole chunks of people, whole groups of people who avoid prawns. When you avoid something, especially if you shun it, you can say, oh, they avoid it like the plague. When we say like the plague, it means it's something which is avoided a lot or avoided much, you know. Like the plague is the emphatic part. For example, I don't generally eat so much meat. I avoid it like the plague. I don't like going to the doctor. I avoid them like the plague. So you can hear like the plague emphasizes how much you don't like something. Anyway, back to the prawns. Yeah, many people around the world don't eat prawns for various different reasons. Some for religious reasons, for some Islamic groups, not all of them, but for a smaller number of them, they consider prawns to be the scavengers of the sea, and they're not allowed. There's also a big debate in other religions about whether prawns are okay or not. Well, for me, I just eat them. I think they're delicious. Here in the UK, it's very hard to find fresh prawns. Despite the fact that we are actually an island, you would be surprised how little access we have to fish. And prawns is up there, I'm afraid. If I want prawns, I'll have to buy them from the freezer, and they look kind of grey when you buy them from the freezer. They don't look so pink. So I'll be having the prawn cocktail. I'll make a nice pink sauce to put over it. So I'm not going to cut up a grapefruit, put a cherry in the middle and call it a starter. Oh, no. Next I'll be having roast chicken, which will be cooked using my usual Peruvian recipe. I think it's chicken horno, or chicken a la horno, is it? Is that how we say it? I can't remember, but it basically means chicken in the oven. And it's chicken which is covered in a very smooth sauce, which is made from, I think it's, what's in my chicken sauce? I can't remember, but cumin is definitely in there, along with lemon juice and a few other little things. And I put my hand under the skin and massage it and leave it for a while. And then after a while, the chicken is cooked in the oven. It's delicious, really, really nice. So I'll be having that. I'll be making my own homemade bread, of course. The dessert will be cheesecake. But before I get there, the potatoes will be served also with the chicken. I'm thinking the potatoes maybe with those things I had last year. I don't remember the name of them. The hearts of something or other. The green. We have to buy them in the tin because we can't get them fresh. Oh yes, the artichoke hearts. That's it. Yes. So I'll probably mashed potato with artichoke hearts mashed up together. Probably that. Maybe some onion there as well. And the cheesecake will be for dessert. So delicious. Absolutely delicious. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to preparing it. It seems like a long time since I've prepared anything. Now that I'm also at university, time is slim. So I'm going to try to manage my time better this year to allow me time to do everything. So there we are. That will be my Christmas recipe. These days, Christmas is one day. And as much as I'm looking forward to cooking, I'm also looking forward to enjoying some nice food if I'm out and about over the Christmas period. So that will be something to look forward to. I think I have an Italian dinner planned around the 18th in a restaurant. I'll need to get that booked. That's when me and the other Skype English teachers get together. You would be amazed what Skype English teachers find to talk about when they go out and about. It's really bizarre. We sit down to eat and then we start discussing how rude other cultures are. Oh, do you have any students from that country? Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, what do you think? Oh, rude. Oh, very rude. And what about this country? Oh, yeah, I've got 2 students from there. Oh, they're very rude. And what about the ones who are late? Oh, yeah, that'll be this country. They're always late. Oh, and very rude. Oh, very rude. And so the story continues. And every year, Skype English teachers get together with their party hats and headsets. And we talk a lot about how rude everyone in the world is, of course, except the English world. And That'll be interesting. It's really interesting with Skype English teachers. The younger ones don't often stay around. When we first started meeting for Christmas dinner, the Skype English teachers and I, there was around, I think, 20 of us. But younger people tend to see teaching English as something you do short term until you get a proper job. Bit like working at McDonald's, you know. That's how it's kind of seen these days. It's not really seen as a professional career. So, of course, they disappear into the ether. They just vanish into nowhere, into the ether. That's how we talk about things and people who are no longer around. People who are still alive, we sometimes say, oh, I don't know what happened to her. She disappeared into the ether. So I think this year, when the Skype English teachers meet, there'll be around 6 or 7 of us. The younger ones have all vanished. They obviously think that, teaching English is not bringing them enough money. And the older ones are the ones who are left. There seems to be some opinion, I don't know why, that teaching English is a very fast way to make money. And it's really sad when some people hold that view, because when some people use teaching English just to get cash, the whole system of teaching is reduced, because it means that they don't care about your English. They're really just using this as a stopover. So the ones that are left tend to be the older ones like me, who are too old to actually move away from the computer without support, But we tend to be the best teachers. So we will be there. I don't know what's on the menu this year for the Skype English teacher dinner, but no doubt we will be discussing countries, as we always do. And then we also will be discussing internet connections. That's our other favorite topic. You would think Skype English teachers would be very, very open-minded. You'd think because we talk to people around the world, you'd think that we would be very illumined about what's happening in the world. But that's not the case. I mean, I'm very open, and I'll talk to anybody. However, there's a few others who aren't. There's one of them that I'm having dinner with this Christmas who really, really is in favour of Brexit and loves English borders being closed. Yeah, she'll be an interesting one to have at dinner, because everyone hates her. So we all just listen to her complaining about immigrants. And then we think, well, why are you teaching English to other people if you don't want them to come here? I mean, really? It doesn't make any sense. So she has some not so hidden extremist views, just extreme views. I remember last year, as you may recall, I'm married to a Venezuelan, so we're sitting round the dinner table with the Skype English teachers. And this woman, this Skype English teacher, starts with the politics, and she's saying, oh, terrible, isn't it? All these immigrants coming in. Yeah, awful. And everyone kind of looked at me, because I'm sitting next to the immigrant, of course, my family member. And then the Skype English teacher looked up and she said, oh, well, of course. I mean, if you marry someone who's not British, I suppose it's okay. And my revenge, my comeback, my quirky response was simply to say, yes, but your children are all living abroad, aren't they? And then there was a stony silence, and she said, yeah, they are. I said, well, if they're all living in other countries, why would you expect the other countries to welcome them if, for example, you're holding views that no one should come to Britain? It's very strange, You let your children go to other countries, but you don't want anyone to come here. And we kind of joked about it, and then she laughed, and then she looked down at her food, and she was kind of quiet after that. But it was like a game of tennis. Everyone's heads went to the left to watch her mouth move, went to the right to watch my response, went to the left to see what she was going to say next, and their heads went to the right to see my response. It was one of those moments, but it was fun. It wasn't meant to be serious. But yeah, I'll see where she is this year. It's funny, isn't it? How there's always someone at a Christmas dinner, isn't there, who's ready to spoil the party. So it's very amusing. So we'll see what happens this year with the Skype English teacher dinner. But you would think that we'd all be very open-minded, but we really aren't. There was another one that I knew some years ago. She was an air hostess. And I thought to myself, well, if she's working in the airlines, she's going to be one of the most open-minded people because, of course, airline staff, well, we all know the stereotypes about them, that they're always traveling, always meeting new people. It's a popular job as well in the hospitality industry. All kinds of people work in the airlines, but this woman hated everyone. She spent her time really talking about how bad immigrants were. And I remember asking her as well, how can you work in the airlines and hate immigration? And yeah, it's like that other woman I know who worked for McDonald's but was a very militant vegetarian. It just doesn't sound principled. You know, there was a time when principled living was all the rage. That's something from my weekly lesson. All the rage simply means very popular. It meant that if you had a belief such as being vegetarian, then you wouldn't be in the presence of meat, you wouldn't work in a meat factory, and you wouldn't work in a meat shop, or you wouldn't be anywhere near meat. But these days, principled living has gone, and your principle is just something you hold in your head. It's not something that's reflected in your other actions. And that can be very dangerous for you and for other people, especially when you're learning a language, because to bring your principles to that means that you're more focused. Anyway, I'll finish there. Whatever you're doing, preparing for Christmas, I hope you're enjoying it. And for those of you who are making preparations for the big festival, which I think is on the 12th in Mexico, which is Our Lady of Guadalupe, La Señora de Guadalupe. I wish you a wonderful day, if you're Mexican, having your national day today with Our Lady of Guadalupe. Have a lovely day. See you soon. Bye.